how the world is not flat. It's a common misnomer. 2 plus 2 is not equal to 5. Similarly, Islam and terrorism, it's exactly the opposite. But it's a very common misconception. And the reply was given very well by Dilese O'Leary, a very famous historian, in the book Islam at the Crossroad on page number 8. And he says that history makes it clear that the legend of fanatical Muslims sweeping across the world, forcing Islam at the point of the sword, is the most fantastic, absurd myth that historians have ever repeated. It is the most absurd myth that historians have ever repeated. And we know from history that we Muslims, we ruled Spain for about 800 years. We did not force anyone at the point of the sword. Neither did we do our message. We didn't convey the message. Later on, the Crusaders came, they wiped out the Muslims. There was not a single Muslim who could openly give the azan. If we wanted, we could have forced everyone to accept Islam at the point of the sword, but we didn't do it. We Muslims, the Arabs, we have been the lord of the Arab lands for the past 1400 years. For a few years, the Britishers came. For a few years, the French came. But overall, we have been the lord of the Arab land for the past 1400 years. Yet today, there are more than 14 million Arabs who are Coptic Christians. Coptic Christian means the Christians since generations. These 14 million Arab Coptic Christians, they are giving Shahada, they are bearing witness that Islam wasn't spared at the point of the sword. We Muslims, we ruled this great country, India, for about 1,000 years, the Mughals. If we wanted, we could have forced every Indian to accept Islam at the point of the sword. But we didn't do it. Today, more than 80% Indians, they are non-Muslims. These 80% non-Muslim Indians, they are giving Shahada, they are bearing witness that Islam wasn't spared at the point of the sword. Today, the country which has the largest population of Muslims in Indonesia, which army went to Indonesia? Which army went to Malaysia, which has more than 50% Muslims? Which army went to the east coast of Africa? Which sword? It is the sword of the intellect. As Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Nahl, chapter number 16, verse number 125. Udu ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah wal mau'izatil hasana wajadil billati ahsan. Invite all to the way of their Lord with the wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them and reason with them in the ways that are best and most gracious. It is the sword of the intellect which is conquering the hearts. It's not the sword of steel. It is the sword of reasoning and understanding which is winning over people.